What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well tonight. So sorry for the late start. My camera was giving me a little bit of trouble today. So I am just pulling up some of the giveaways, and we're going to do a surprise giveaway today. But how's everybody doing? Can everybody hear me okay? I always ask that because just want to make sure that, we address any issues that may be going on before I really dive into this. But hope everybody's doing well. Little echo there, but hope everybody's good. Perfect. All right. So, how's everybody's week been so far? I'm just going to be pulling up some links here because I want to give you guys the live giveaway link here. And we also have, we've got two handhelds that I'm giving away, both from Ambernick. But I'm going to do this 2.5-inch external hard drive giveaway loaded with games as well. So, I've reviewed this in the past here on the channel. And I'm just going to, again, pull up all this stuff so I can send it over to you guys. Just playing a little bit of catch up here. I wasn't super prepared before jumping on with you guys. Angel, you're in Connecticut. I'm in Connecticut too. Not much going on over here. And how did everybody like last week's live stream for those that were here last week? How did you guys like having Heck and Steve on? I had a blast talking to him, and he actually stayed with us for the entire thing last week. So like 2 hours we had him on. So let me know what you guys thought of that. What's going on, Seti? Not much, not much. Just trying to pull up this link for you guys today. Everything's slow tonight. I'm slow tonight too, though. Definitely feel like it's Friday. All right, so we've got, here is the live stream giveaway link coming at you guys. And this is going to be the last one tonight. So we got some time on this. So we'll be able to get everybody entered up. This is a Botacera 500 gigabyte plug and play game drive. And again, I did review this here on the channel, I think probably about 2-3 weeks ago. So here's the link right here. And let me see if I can jump over here and pin it. If I go into YouTube, I probably can do that. Let's see. The downside to working off of StreamYard, it's much more convenient with certain things, but I can't pin things for you guys to click on. So that's always a pain. Just going to jump into the live stream over here and just drop that off for you guys. All right, here we go. Okay. Should be able to do this, hopefully. I think I did this last week or the week before. So can I pin that over here now? Perfect. All right, guys, so you should be able to click on that link now throughout the entire live stream. So I'm going to get out of there. All right, so I think we're good here. And I will give you guys also the links to the regular 3 giveaways, or excuse me, the regular 2 giveaways. We have the Ambernick RG35XX and the Ambernick RG35XX Plus, which is the one that I would inch ahead slightly. Obviously, it's the updated version, so I'll drop those off as well. But the first one tonight is going to be, let's see, which one is the first one? I think it's going to be the RG35XX. Oh, no, we're doing the Plus first. Okay, so here's the link for the Plus. For anybody that hasn't already entered to win this, click this link coming at you guys right now and enter to win it. Again, you guys know the deal. It's totally free to enter to win. Just give me your name and email address, and I will contact you if you're the lucky winner. So I'm going to dive into some of these comments here in the live chat, and we'll, get started. Good question. Where are those likes? I actually don't have a like count on my end, so I can't. I got to go off of what you guys tell me. So make sure that you hit like on the live stream here. It's a huge help to me here. On YouTube, of course, as I try to grow things little by little. And I feel like every week it does get a little bit better. Not so much like in the actual numbers in the live chat, or the live stream rather, but a lot of people play this back after because we got a lot of people that come in from like the UK, and Ireland's a big one, Australia. So obviously they're coming in at different times. So let's see. Is that a tape recorder where I have this right here? This is my power bank for my phone. because I'm terrible at charging my phone and every device. I never charge anything until it's like completely dead. So, and that may not be even what you were talking about, but that's the only thing I could think of here. This right here is the game drive. That's what we're talking about. So this is, I'll actually open it up for you guys. This is the surprise giveaway. This will be the last giveaway of the night. And it looks like an old school tape. There we go. So this is actually a 500 gigabyte hard drive, and we have another cable here, which I'll pull out so you guys can see exactly how this goes together. But I have a full video that walks through, you know, exactly what this offers, because it has like 48,000 games on it, and it's pretty massive. And it works really well too, I will say that. So this is how it connects. It just connects over to your PC via USB connection, and you can boot right into this. For this one, because it's Batacera and it uses Linux, if you're coming in on a Windows computer, like most of us probably are, you're going to have to change your boot order to tell your PC to boot into this rather than the internal hard drive. Very simple process, though. It sounds more complicated than it definitely is. It takes literally probably like 5-6 seconds to make that change. You just hit escape, or in some cases it's F10 on your keyboard. I find that escape now works for the majority, though, even if some say in like the user manual that it's supposed to be F10. But yeah, you just change your boot order and you can boot right into this. Of course, it doesn't want to go back in here now. So, how's everybody's week been? What's everybody been playing? I always ask that. Has anybody played the new Suicide Squad that everybody was talking bad about for a while there? I actually saw some reviews that weren't so terrible on that, but I haven't checked it out yet. There you go. That is true. You may have to change, you may have to turn off secure boot. I've seen that on some. I think it was the G3 from HP's Elite Desk. I did have to make some, you know, weird adjustments like that, but the majority, I feel like you don't have to even do that. It just depends on if it's, you know, turned on by default or not. We're going old school there, Joshua. I was the CD era myself. I mean, I remember having tapes too, but that was when I was really young. Definitely wasn't making them, but yeah, we're going back with that. Definitely, Alfred. I think it's really a unique way to kind of bring that whole retro thing together. Definitely well thought out. Orlando, thank you. Hit those likes. Appreciate that. There you go. Good info. Yeah, it's always like a different function button depending on like even the same brands that have different models. It can be even a different function from that. So I have found that escape seems to be pretty universal. You may get like a pop-up screen that then brings you to where you can actually change your boot order. But yeah, you have to kind of dance around with that a little bit and see what works for whatever you're specifically using. How is that? How is Mad Max? I saw that. I didn't watch the press conference, but I actually just went on Google and typed in like press conference just to see. I wasn't sure if it was on Peacock or if they were putting it onto a different network. And that was the first thing that like popped up. It was a little Twitter highlight, and yeah. So I don't. What are they doing with that? Is it? I got to watch the whole press thing, or at least that entire segment there. But are they setting up like a Roman Rock versus Cody and Seth tag match for like one of the nights of WrestleMania? What's the deal with that? Nice, both great titles. And I liked Sonic on Game Boy Advance too. I will have to check that out. Nice, nice. Going old school. I like that. How do the kids like NES? I think when I showed my stepson like I think showed him some old school Genesis and NES, and he was like, "Oh, that's cool," and did not want to play any of it. So, um, Sonic though, Sonic with Master System definitely caught his attention, but NES didn't do it. Even Mario, like, okay, acknowledge where Mario started. Although I mean Mario started with Donkey Kong. I showed him that too, and he was like, "Oh, that's cool," and then again wasn't into it. That's pretty good. I like that game. There we go. And Napster, all that stuff back then. All right, so I'm going to jump down. So if anybody said anything to me and I didn't respond, just send it right through because I'm getting behind on these comments here. But what did everybody think of Heck and Steve last week joining us for the for a chat? N64 is pretty timeless. I think that with emulation, it's even better because you can kick those graphics up considerably. And then I think it's like an easier transition for kids that are used to, the crazy stuff that they see today with graphics, which are just, so different from what we grew up with. Um, so I've had luck with that. And I mean, Mario Kart 64, even if it's not graphically perfect, it's still a fun game. And I think it's definitely timeless. But there's some stuff for N64 that's just, I don't know, it just doesn't do well with the kids today. Donkey Kong 64, another timeless one for sure. But now I feel like with the other options for Donkey Kong and Mario, like, I mean, we have Mario Kart 8, which you can get into for either Wii U or, of course, Switch. That kind of, scratches the same itch for the kids, anyways. For us, I think it's always going to be whatever we grew up with. NFL Street 2. That's the week to do it, right? I was playing Blitz last night a little bit, getting ready for the Super Bowl. All right, so they're a little bit young, I suppose. My stepson is 11 and a half, almost 12, and then my daughter is 3, excuse 4, 4, and then my son is 2.5. So a little bit young for it, but she'll try to like mess around with the controller when I'm playing Fortnite because I have like Jack Skellington as one of the characters, so she's into that. So I'll give her like a spare controller, that classic trick, and she thinks she's playing. So that's our entrance into gaming, I suppose. Duck Hunt on a tube TV. You get into that with emulation too. There's definitely some more friendly light gun games, I would say. Not that that's one of the more friendly ones, but then there's some that are like way too brutal, like the House of the Dead. Probably wouldn't throw that at a at a young kid. So you're not Team Cody, I'm guessing. The backlash that I mean, they made some waves with that whole thing, so I give them props. I mean, I think that was the plan to get people talking, and I mean, people have definitely. I know people that aren't into wrestling. They're like, "Oh, The Rock came back, and everybody's upset about it." I mean, it's definitely getting a lot of attention, and I mean, that's good for them. They need it right now to get away from all the bad press that they've gotten over the last few weeks. This is true. Good games aren't all about graphics. That's true. But for the kids, I was just speaking to younger generations coming in. I think that it always kind of gets caught up with the graphics. That's like the first thing that they're like, oh, what is all that? Yeah, it's a different world, and I'm not really big into a lot of the new stuff. Yeah, it was definitely a different format, different layout. But yeah, honestly, I'm not sure. Um, I don't know much enough about it to really weigh in on that just yet, but definitely we'll have to dive into a bit further. I've actually been diving into a lot of mini PCs lately, which it's been a while since I've reviewed one on the channel. So next week we've got a lot of content based around mini PCs coming back. I've kind of been spending a lot of time going through. Anytime I tackle one topic, I kind of do a bunch of videos on that topic because it just makes sense. I have that set up in front of me. So like the last week and a half has been a lot of light gun stuff. I dove into the retro shooters, gun for IR. I have a gun for IR video coming out tomorrow. I'm not sure if it comes out tomorrow night or if it comes out during the day tomorrow. Probably tomorrow night because nights seem to do better with views. But that should be one of the last light gun videos that I do. I might dive back into Chris School mod setup. There was a section in there that I actually missed, so I will probably highlight that again because I actually missed a really awesome rail shooter section. In addition to that, though, it's going to be a lot of mini PC reviews coming next week. I finally got the Sur 7 Max from B-Link, so I have that one almost completely edited. let's see. What else do we have? I have a Paladin mini PC. I have one from Minis Forums coming. So I've got a bunch of stuff. So I think we'll probably hit a lot of those. I've got a lot of people have been asking about that 12 terabyte game drive that's all over Amazon these days. I've got that. Literally just came to the door like an hour ago. So I'm going to dive into that probably this weekend. I'll have that out next week. So yeah, definitely got some cool stuff. How did you like his reseller playlist? I just watched his one with, he did two videos with Tim Malcolm from 90 Day Fiance. They were pretty good. And I forget the guy that they were kind of going in on the first video. He actually I saw him in the comments when I left like a little comment laughing. He was in there too, and seemed to be having a good time about it as well. So it's cool to see that that there's some good sports out there, with the content that he does. I like it. The only thing that sucks is, well, there's a couple things, honestly. Let me move aside. And I always move the wrong way. Yeah, of course I moved the wrong way. Let me see if you guys. No, it was good. It was good. It's always backwards for me. It actually looks really good right now. Let me lower that. The black around the edge of the control deck actually started peeling like almost instantly. So I've had that kind of looking like a mess lately. And last night I just went in and I scraped all that off. So it looks pretty sharp right now. But I'm going to be totally redoing it graphically and then modding it as well. So it's not going to be an NFL Blitz anymore. Um, and I've actually gone back and forth on that because I really like NFL Blitz. However, with these, you don't have like the late hits. It's just a little bit more polished to be, correct for today's world. Which, I mean, it's a game. I mean, the late hits were a big part of, playing that game, especially with multiplayer and playing with other people. It's just fun to kind of take out your frustrations and just leg drop like Hulk Hogan on people after you tackle them. That was the game for me. So you don't have that on there. That's a downside. The controls, like the threads on the joysticks, just don't ever tighten, so they're always loose. So I find that like after 3 games, it actually comes off of my hand, and then I have to like quickly try to thread it because there's no pause on the game. So you have to like thread it back on, but it never tightens. So the buttons aren't high quality. It's an arcade one up. They're limited with what they offer quality wise. So yeah, I mean, people ask me if I would recommend them. I would, but for me, I always go into anything with arcade one up first off trying to get them at the lowest price possible because they're not worth what they go for retail. And then beyond that, I'm gonna almost always mod them. So this is gonna get modded. In fact, I have the graphics that just came in yesterday. So I'm probably going to tackle that this weekend, and I'll have videos on that entire process. But I'm going to turn it into an Indiana Jones arcade cabinet because I'm a huge fan of Indiana Jones. It'll still have all the NFL Blitz games on it, but it'll have much more than just the 3 that are included on there right now. When I mod it, I'll end up putting on pretty much like any NFL Blitz that ever existed. And 2003 is actually my favorite. I used to play that on the GameCube as a kid, so that could be why it is my favorite, just the memories I have playing it. So Jeff, the T2 is still right here, but I got the replacement bezels, so I have that, and then I actually went and I ordered a new graphic for the kick plate, just because it was boring. It was just like black and it just said T2 on it, but T2 is like super small. So I figured while I got the damn thing taken apart, I'll just replace the front graphic. And then, of course, they've kind of dragged their feet on sending that out. So I'll probably just reassemble it today just because it's been sitting like this, disassembled beside me here for like a week, week and a half. And I'm shocked that nobody has banged into it yet. So luckily, it's mostly me down here, but still, I tend to bang into things. So I'll probably reassemble that and then, eventually mod that as well. So I'll have videos on all that stuff. Can you give a link to the Terminator skull and how to mod the eyes? The eyes come modded. So I will give you the link right now, actually, but you don't have to mod the eyes. The only thing that I did was I actually covered them with tape and I sprayed the whole thing because it doesn't come painted. But it does come in a silver color, so it's actually not bad at all. But let's see. Just gonna pull the link up for you guys here. There we go. Yeah, the guy just sent me a link so you can like, that's like the other one that I had. I think I put one in one of the videos, but it went to like his page, then you had to find it. So here is the direct link to that T2 skull behind me. And yeah, the eyes light up. You just have to put, I think it's two AA batteries. It might just be one AA battery you put in there, but there's a switch on the back so you can turn it on and off. Um, so yeah, you don't have to even go about modding it yourself. So I'll say it again. Anybody that sent me a message or a question in here that I didn't respond to, just send it again because I'm going to drop down to the bottom of this. But I saw somebody was asking for the first giveaway link, so I'm going to give you guys that right here in the live chat. This is for the first one. This is the Ambernick RG 35 XX Plus. So I've got that right here. I'll open it up for you guys so you can see it. And these were just used for the last batch of videos that I did. I actually reviewed these in the past, and then I did a comparison video. So these are the ones that I did the comparison video with. So I got it right here. Literally just used these one time for probably 10 minutes. So these are pretty much brand new. You can see, looks great. Didn't put the screen protector on here, but it comes with all the original stuff. So you can slide that on if you want to. Not everybody wants to. But really sharp handhelds, both of them. Even though the RG35XX Plus is the better one, it's not a major difference, and it doesn't mean that the original one's not good. So that's actually kind of the theme with the, not to spoil it, but the Sur 6 and Sur 6, excuse me, Sur 6 Max and Sur 7 Max that I'm going to be doing the video on. That should be coming out like Monday, I would say. Maybe even Sunday. Well, I probably won't do anything Sunday because it's a Super Bowl. So, let's see. What's going on with the giveaway links? Any, if there's any issues, let me know. Because I can also put you in manually if for some reason, actually, a buddy of mine said that it was like blocking him. I don't know. Maybe he had like a VPN or something like that. I'm not really sure. But yeah, if you're having issues, let me know because I can put you in manually on my end. What do you think the best handheld out there currently that can play up to PS2 and GameCube? You know what? There's not many budget-friendly ones that can do that. Best one for me is probably the Steam Deck, honestly. And I know people think I don't like that because I sold mine. I only sold mine because I just wasn't using it as a handheld, so it didn't make sense for me. But the capabilities on there and the performance was great. So that's what I would go for like higher end stuff. But I mean, that's really pretty expensive. I mean, what are they, like $500, give or take? Maybe a little bit less now. Love paying VPX pinball tables. That's one thing I haven't done much with. I have a virtual pinball machine, but it came with like I think there's 906 total games on it, and they almost all work. The only one that doesn't work that I want to get working is the Guns N' Roses table. It works, but it doesn't have audio for some reason, so I gotta like reload that on there. But it's one of those things that I want to do and just haven't had time for. So plus I gotta like access everything internally. So maybe when I sort of like semi break it down to bring it down here, you know, I might dive into that and try to figure that out because I believe that setting those up isn't that terribly difficult. It's just one more thing I'll have to learn and get acquainted with. So it's a time consuming thing. Is there any simulator? There's the cloud, the Xbox Cloud thing. I forget what it's called, but you can get into that on there's a couple handhelds that you can get into that on that aren't like the Steam Deck. Steam Deck, you can certainly get into it too. But you can get into that through PCs as well. I've done that a few times. It doesn't work for every single game, but it'll work for, I feel like it works for the majority of the games that I have on my Xbox. And it's a decent experience. I won't say it's as good as playing on the actual console, but you know, it's pretty decent. I would have to look at that closer. I don't know any off the top of my head. I'm not as familiar with. I don't think I've ever used the Dell Precision Tower 5810, but I can look into that for you. Can't enter them. All right. What does it say to you? Does it give you like a weird error message? Because I didn't set any like blocks for different locations or anything like that on there. Let's see what the live stream. And for those that are just joining, there's a pinned comment up at the top. And it looks like most of you guys found that. We have 375 entries already, but that's the surprise little 500 gigabyte Batacera hard drive here with 48,045 games preloaded on there. So definitely enter to win that. And that is, again, the comment that is pinned at the top that you should be able to click. Best retro game console. So the one that I reviewed, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I had it up a day early, and then I got hit with some copyright claims on the background during the menu scroll. Had some music playing in the background. I thought, oh, it's just random music. I didn't think it was going to be copyrighted, and it was. So I had to remove those little audio segments, which is weird because it's throughout the entire video, but they only made me remove like 3 minutes of it in different parts. So that was the Time Machine, and it's actually a pretty sweet setup. I labeled it the best plug and play console because the one that I had as the best was unavailable. But I just heard that it became available again on Amazon, so I would probably go that route, honestly. And it's the one that looks like the PS5. Let me see if I can pull it up though, because that's what I kind of deemed as the best one up until yesterday. But that was just because I heard that one wasn't available. And then all of a sudden, of course, yesterday it seemed to pop back up. All right, let me see if I can find this. I know I have it on my Amazon storefront here. So let me just jump over here and I'll get you that link. Sorry, I got so many windows open over here. And I have a full video on this as well. And I think actually in the video earlier today, I just went in and I updated the link in there. So I probably could have gone that route and it would have been quicker, but always make things more complicated. So where is this? Damn, I got too many videos. Yeah, there's no search function on Amazon or the storefronts. I'm going to go into YouTube and I'm just going to search this and I'll get you that link. Bear with me here. But yeah, this is what I would definitely call the best plug and play console. And I think it's like $106, whereas the one that I reviewed yesterday, you have to get it from France, which actually it came DHL very quickly, but it's like $175 or so, give or take. All right, and I call this the fake PS5 because it looks just like a PS5. There we go. And that's just the audio coming through on that video, if you guys caught that. Here is the direct link here. Yeah, so $104.99 on Amazon right now, and it's loaded with over 40,000 games. And it's got really good performance for, especially for that price point, but you're not going to get into like PS2 or GameCube or anything like that on there. So apologize for how long that took, but here is the link for you, Rodrigo. If you have any questions, just let me know. First and third one, no problem. So you couldn't get into the RG35XX. Okay. Did you reference by any chance your username when you entered? Just because I don't want to ask you for your email with 140 people in here that maybe you don't want to share your email with. You can send me actually if you go on my website and you go to the contact page, you can send me a direct email there, a direct message through there, and give me your email address, and I'll enter you manually on the back end right now. So just if you don't want to share your email with everybody in here, do that, and let me know, and I'll check it for you. Trim U Pro, yes, I do. That's actually my favorite for budget-friendly options. Now, that's not going to get you into GameCube or PS2, but it does give you an exceptional performance, and I have a video on that as well. And it's a great handheld. It's probably my favorite for budget-friendly options. I think I would honestly put that ahead of the RG35XX Plus, but just slightly. I mean, they're pretty well aligned, but I think that the card that comes with that And the game collections are better though, so I will say that. So that kind of, if you don't want to have to go in there and set up your own card, then I would go that route. No problem at all. I love doing these giveaways. This is like the highlight of my week on here, so I really do enjoy being able to join you guys here on Friday nights and talk about gaming or whatever else you guys want to talk about and do these giveaways. So there'll be a lot more coming too because I've got a ton of stuff here that I'm going to be diving into. I do a lot of stuff on just Amazon as well. So if there's like, I'm reviewing like 5 different monitors, and I'm not going to put them all here on YouTube because I don't like doing reviews where, like, if it's a really cool item that I think people will benefit from, then I think that's awesome. I'll certainly put it on the channel. Like, I did one on this controller recently, and I love this controller. This is my new favorite controller. This is the Machinike G5 Pro. Love this because you can use this on, let me see, Android devices, Switch, PC, and I'm sure it works on some other things too. It's just really phenomenal. The joysticks, the trigger buttons on here, just absolutely phenomenal. So I did a review on Amazon for this, and I was like, I'll just bring it over to YouTube because it's so impressive. I love it. But when I do like monitor reviews, I don't want to do 50 monitor reviews here on the channel because most people aren't in the market for them, and I don't want it to come across as like just commercials and stuff like that. So that stuff I just keep to Amazon. But at the end of the day, I end up with a ton of monitors, and I've got a stack of like 3 or 4 of them over here that will be future giveaways here on the channel. You know what? I honestly don't care. Um, I Neither team is a team that I really follow closely. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm just kind of watching, and that's about it. Who's the halftime this year? I don't even know who's doing the halftime this year. I'm so out of the loop. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's gotten a lot better too. It's one of those that does seem to, be improving more and more. Not yet. What's the countdown on this? 3:54 is what I'm seeing. Let me make sure that's accurate. Yeah, we've got 3 minutes and 40. Yeah, 3 minutes and 45 seconds now on this first giveaway, and then I will draw the winner. So here is the link once again for anybody that didn't get this yet. Click that link, enter to win. We got about 3.5 minutes left on that. Rob, yeah. So last week, what did I do? I've done a lot of Lycon videos lately, and I'm winding down with those. But the retro shooters were last week. Tomorrow is going to be the gun for IR, which I actually have inched out ahead of the retro shooters. It's a very different experience, but the button mapping on those. Let me see if I have one here. I don't. I think they're over there today. It's basically a gun. I mean, it's not basically. It is a GunCon 2, which would be 24 years old. At least the ones that I have. You can get them different ways, but really get great performance on it when it's fully modded to have the new technology brought into the mix. So definitely check out that video tomorrow, and I believe that's coming out at like 7 p.m. tomorrow night. I don't, and that's something a lot of people have been asking me. So I'm gonna have to put together a list, and yeah, I always say that the Sur 6 Max is the best, but I will be diving into it. I've already done it. I've already edited the video and everything. I'm just waiting on a thumbnail for it because I've been doing my bigger videos that are going to have a larger audience. I've been having somebody design the thumbnails just because I'm limited with my creativity on those. So once I get that done, I was thinking about putting it out on Sunday, but with it being Super Bowl Sunday, I think people will be preoccupied. So I'll probably do it Monday. And that is the Sur 7 Max. I could ruin it for you guys and tell you whether I would go Sur 7 or Sur 6, but I guess I'll leave you guys to that video on Monday. Did not get the last link. So, Joanne, there's the live giveaway link, which is the one that's pinned up here at the top. And then there's, let me see, I'll give you them all right now, and then I'll keep throwing them you guys this way throughout this. This link right here is for the one that's coming up in a minute and a half. So grab that one and go right now. This next one is the next giveaway, which will be in 36 minutes, it says here. Space these out pretty good tonight. And then we have the live one. Again, that's pinned. Yes, it definitely does. Best of luck, Jay. Yeah, we'll be doing the first one here in another minute or so. Yeah, 57 seconds. What's your take on the new Kinhank X5 Pro with over 600 PS2 games? It looks promising. I haven't had that hands-on experience with it yet, so I can't say, would I recommend it or anything. But yeah, it looks promising. It'll be one more thing I have to dive into. Right. And RC, thank you so much as always. Always super supportive. Let's see. Everybody doing well. 5 more days until spring training camp opens. There you go. Absolutely. Now, who are you a fan of, RC? Because you're in New York, so you could be Mets or you could be Yankees. Joshua is very knowledgeable. I will say that. Always good information shared in here. Yeah, I love that handheld. I love the analog sticks on there too, which I'm really picky with handhelds, and those are small. That's the only thing I'll say is they're really petite, but they work really well. So I could see how it could be a challenge for somebody with like really big thumbs, like somebody that's much larger than me. But I had a really good experience with them in all honesty. That was a good one, right? I definitely like that, and I like that they really spent time putting that together in a really great way. Um, yeah, I thought that the layout was really well thought out. No duplicates, or I'm sure there's some duplicates in there. There's 10,000 games, but I went through it pretty extensively, and I didn't show it all on camera, and I didn't find any. So definitely took their time with that one. And it's always good to see that. Yeah, yep, yeah, that's the one from yesterday. All right, I'm jumping down to the current ones here. Let me see. GM Tech, I actually have had. Did I review that one? I did one of them. I think it was a Nuck box. It might have been that one, but I don't think I paid $99 for it. I think it was more than that. So that's a sweet deal. So you're able to run PS2 and GameCube. You can probably then get into, you should be able to get into Wii because it uses the same emulator as GameCube. Sometimes, though, those games will surprise you, and there's some cases they do lag where GameCube doesn't. So it can be kind of strange like that. But you should be able to get into some of the easier Switch games too, then. Switch can be dicey as well, but usually you can get into at least some of them. It just depends if you want to even bother with Switch. I know some people definitely shy away from that one because it is a current console, which I certainly do understand. Very nice. Yeah, I got the Diet Pepsi tonight, trying to keep me awake. Sinden versus Gun for IR. That's a great question. Let me do this giveaway, and I'm gonna dive into that because that's a tough one. Obviously, it's more user friendly to go the Sinden route, I think, but a lot of people hate that border on the screen. I actually don't mind it, especially if you're going to go in and mod like an arcade cabinet. That's the dilemma I have with this T2 cabinet here. I'd love to bring Chris Coolmod's setup into the mix, but I have to accommodate those sensors, which if it was like an old school arcade cabinet, then I think I'd have more room to do it. But with the fact that it's not, it's an arcade one up, I am very limited with, space, and I'd have to cut into the bezels, or I'm actually looking into recessing the screen, and that may open up some extra space for me. I'm thinking I could put in like a spacer on the sides and kind of integrate the sensors in that way without having to like cut away stuff, because cutting away got me in trouble with the bezels before. I just got a replacement for it because I got 3 holes cut, and the fourth one cracked the whole plexiglass. So, all right, I'm going to pull the winner for the RG35XX Plus. And let me see. Okay. Too many windows tonight. I should bring another monitor into the mix, and then I could like split this up a little bit better and have this like ready to go. But yeah, tonight I wasn't on point with prepping everything out. All right, so we're going to randomly draw one winner. Let me refresh this, and we'll announce this winner. So best of luck to everybody. This is again for the RG35XX Plus. This is the more updated Ambernick handheld here out of the two. And the lucky winner is Finn Math from the UK. So, Finn, congratulations on this. And I believe that's Finley for short. I have your email right here, so I will email you probably later tonight and get your shipping info. So, everybody give a warm congrats to Finn. This is definitely an awesome handheld. So, next one we have here is the regular RG35XX. And I'm going to just check over to my email, see if I got any info on that individual who is having some trouble entering. Let's see. Perfect. Gotcha, Patrick. I'm going to enter you in right now. Perfect. That worked out. All right. So, Sinden versus Gun. That was the question, right? Let me jump back over to you guys over here. And Patrick, you are entered. Just literally just copy and pasted your stuff in over there. So you're good to go. So, yeah. I don't mind the borders on the Sinden, especially if you're having to deal with, you know, putting it into an arcade cabinet and stuff. I don't think it's that bad, and you can actually make it a little bit thinner so it's not as noticeable. But yeah, some people don't like that. And then if you don't like that, you have to go with physically mounting those sensors on. Gun for IR's sensors, in all honesty, look a little bootleg. The gun for, the retro shooter ones are well polished. They're, you know, in a little enclosure. They look much more professional than if I could pull these off my screen right now and show you guys, but I'd have to work my way around all these cables and stuff for this live stream. They're basically just like three little prongs and, you know, a little chip in the back that you have to basically find a way to stick to your monitor or TV. And I find that they're not bad on the sides, but at the bottom, I have the sensor for the TV in general there. And it's definitely harder to mount it underneath there. And I'm sure I'm going to be pulling my hair out, or what's left of my hair, when I try to install it into my arcade one-up cabinet like that. So, yeah, it takes up more space. I mean, I think the experience is comparable between the two options in terms of tracking on screen and all that stuff. The guns are fairly comparable as well. I actually have grown to like the gun for IR that I have, which is, again, like I said before, the GunCon 2 that's been fully modded. I like that because it's lighter. It has the recoil clicks to it, and it's got the D-pad on the back side, which I thought when I first saw it, I was like, I'll never use this. I've been mapping the D-pad down, which is right where my thumb lines up when I'm holding the gun, as my reload button for games where you can actually map a button to reload, just because I don't have to bring another hand into the mix like I would on a Sinden light gun. So it's minor things like that. The D-pad on the Sinden is on the side, so there's no way to hit it with the same hand that you're holding the gun with. So it's like minor stuff like that. I think you just have to kind of look at the layout of the gun itself and determine it, because performance-wise, I think that they're pretty well aligned. So I use what I'm on right now, and I use this honestly more so for my video editing and live streams and stuff than even gaming these days. I have a HP Pavilion gaming PC, which isn't, you know, incredibly high end for gaming PCs, but it's got NVIDIA graphics on here, which I've had a great experience with retro video game emulation. I can get into PS2, I can get into Steam, I can get into pretty much everything that I need to, and it performs really well, and it's not outrageously priced. I think I paid like $900 for it when it first came out. I think they're down to like $7 now. So that's what I use. It does handle Chris Cool mod setup very nicely without any limitations. I've been using the Camrui AM08 Pro though
for that. And if I do end up installing that into the arcade one-up cabinet, the T2 one that I have dismantled over here that I'm going to eventually mod, that's how I'll bring it into that mix there. And I've had a good experience with it, using that. Um, I won't say that Chris Coolmod's setup is 100% flawless. It is very good, though. There's definitely some things that you have to, kind of customize and tweak with settings, though, especially with like Techno Parrot and stuff, which is what I'm most into, in all honesty. I love those rail shooters from Raw Thrills, who just puts out really great stuff. And I just tested out their Godzilla VR. I guess you'd call it a cabinet, but rail shooter setup that's going to be at like Dave and Buster's and stuff when I was at CES in Vegas a couple weeks back, and that was phenomenal. Arcade punks can be hit or miss. Yeah, I've noticed that a lot over like the last year, actually. Back when went on there originally years ago, when I first got into RetroPine, I was playing with some stuff over there, and I found it to be really pretty straightforward and user friendly. Now they're just doing so much stuff that it can be tough to get consistency out of it. So and people do set things up differently as well. I think there's just a lot more moving parts to builds in general these days. So yeah, it's tough for them, I think, too, to give out instructions for each thing when they are set up differently. So it is a little bit tough. I will agree with you there. All right, so I'm jumping down to the latest comments here. So if you guys have um, asked me any questions, you know the drill. Just ask them again. I'm not trying to avoid anybody, just trying to keep up with things, because as I dive into a big topic like Sinden versus Gun for IR, obviously I talk for a little bit and we lose some time, and I get behind on these comments. But um, RC, are you a Yankees fan or a Mets fan? I didn't see if you responded to that one. I'm sure you probably did, but I missed it. Let me know, because I go to Yankee Stadium usually every year for when the Tigers come in. So, and they certainly play them more than the Mets. So I'm going to dive into some of these questions here, but let me send you guys the link again to the next giveaway, which we've got 23 minutes on still. I definitely separated these quite a bit tonight. This is the Anbernic RG35XX. So we just did the Plus. This is the XX, the original version. Still a great handheld, though. And same size screen, same layout, all that good stuff. The battery life on here is a little bit shorter. I think it's like, I think it was like 26% shorter than the upgraded version that they put out. So that's the difference there. Rodrigo, yeah, I sent you, let me see, I still got it up here. I put this one in earlier, but here it is again. And this is the one that looks like a PS5. You can also look at the video that I put out yesterday, and that'll be easy to locate. That's the one from France, but this one is a little bit cheaper. Actually significantly cheaper. It's got really good performance. This kind of disappeared for a while, and it just resurfaced the other day. So good timing on that. Because this is the one that I just shared with you. This one right here is the one that I've been recommending people to. I don't have a Twitch account. No, I'm so bad with social media. I know it sounds strange being on YouTube, but I have Instagram, I have TikTok, but I don't ever go on them. I don't even have the apps on my phone. So I spend so much time putting out content here on YouTube. I feel like I would totally lose my mind if I had to do it on more platforms, which, in a perfect world, I would. But yeah, it's a time consuming process. So I'm pretty much just active here on YouTube these days. I've wrestled with the idea, but I'm new to the live streams too. This is only a couple months of me doing live streams, and I think I'll do more. A lot of people have been asking for like gaming live streams, so I do plan to do that. In fact, I've thought about jumping on, my Xbox and just throwing a live stream together on, a late night one day. But yeah, I didn't get to it yet. Once I get caught up with a few things here, I've got a bunch of videos I want to do. And once I kind of level out with that stuff, I'm going to definitely do more live streams, and we'll do like a retro gaming live stream where I dive into different retro games. Did that probably like 2 years ago here on the channel, but at the time I didn't have, much of an audience. I was only like maybe 6,000 people that subscribed to the channel at the time. So it felt like it, a pretty solid flop, but that's how it goes in the early days. Are you planning on doing more collabs? In regards to the live streams, like having more people on here, or what do you mean? Um, I really enjoyed having Steve on last week, and he actually just texted me here. He wants to know if we can play Fortnite. I mean, my live stream, you should be here too, Steve. All right. He forgot what day it was. But yeah, I would love to have more people on here. You know who's a good YouTuber that I really have been following closely is was it Retro Ralph? Have you guys watched his channel? I've actually watched him for a long time now. And now he just did a video on Chris Coolmod's like on setup, but I love his I'm an arcade guy. I grew up in the arcade and I just love watching that's probably my favorite type of gaming content actually is watching people go into like old arcade cabinets and stuff. And he doesn't do as much of the tech stuff, but he buys up a lot of arcade cabinets and he's really knowledgeable on that stuff. So, um, nice. I just went to one of the last games that they had at Yankee Stadium was Tigers. I forget when I went. Was it October? No, it would have been September. I think it was September 7th, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was the day before my birthday. So I took my stepson over there, and yeah, the Tigers won. It was a good game for a Tigers fan. Good info there from Jim as well. What'd you miss? We did one giveaway. We got another giveaway coming down the line here in about 19 minutes. And then we have a surprise giveaway, which you can find the link to pinned at the top of the live chat. But we've been just kind of chatting about gaming stuff. Hey, what virus scanner do you scan your drives with when you plug them into your system? Good question. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head. It's not on this PC, otherwise I would pull it up for you. I have a couple PCs that I use, and I have a high-powered mini PC from which one is it? Camrui? Yeah, I think it's a Camrui one that I've just kind of designated to uploading video files before I edit and stuff like that. And I use that to scan everything before I bring it into this PC over here. So I forget off the top of my head what it is. And of course, it's not on or over there at the moment. But if you are interested, hit me up on my website. I have a little contact page and just shoot me a reminder and I'll let you know what it is because yeah, I'm just blanking on it right now. That is a good one. And I have a bunch of handhelds that I'm going to be reviewing over here. I feel like I have about 5 different handhelds that I have to review. So there will be a solid week coming up that will be a lot of handheld stuff because I like to kind of keep a theme. Like last week, I jumped into a lot of light gun stuff. And while I had it out, it was like, I'll just do a video on this light gun, that light gun, the light gun build from Chris Coolmod. And then next week's going to be a lot of mini PC reviews again, which I know a lot of people love on here. We have that 12 terabyte game drive from Amazon that I'll be reviewing. I might even film that tonight and put it out Monday or Tuesday. Absolutely. I love doing these live streams. I love interacting with you guys. It's such a cool vibe in here. Always good people. And just like off of the premieres, like yesterday, we had a birthday and everybody was just so like warm and welcoming and wishing the people happy birthday and stuff like that. It's just like simple stuff like that that's always cool to see because there's so many live streams out there that I watch that don't have that that vibe. Total AV, there you go. That's what I use. That is the one. And I used to have it on this. I actually reset this PC that I'm on right now recently, and I didn't put it back on there. So that's the reason I've been doing it all over there on that one. So, but they give you, with my membership with Total AV, they give you, I think, 3 devices. So I got to put it on here. Yes, it is. Yes, the Vince McMahon shenanigans are up in my area here. Yeah, they're down in Stanford. So he's like, well, he's not there anymore, but they're like an hour from me. Maybe 55 minutes if you don't hit any traffic on 95. But they just moved too. I think Vince's office was still in the old building, if I'm not mistaken, because he had the old building, Titan Tower, and they put in a new building now, actually in the center of Stanford, and it's a massive building. Like I feel like when you're driving down 95, you're passing the WWE headquarters now for like a solid like half a mile. It's just their building on the right side if you're heading south. So yeah, I don't know if all that'll change. I imagine it's going to be business as usual at least for a while with the the acquisition of TKO or all that stuff. Now they're kind of with the UFC. I watched the Insert Coin documentary. I liked how Mortal Kombat Arcade was built and NBA Jams too. Insert Coin documentary. Is that the one that I watched? I gotta look that one up. During COVID, I watched like probably 10 different retro gaming documentaries. I don't know if that's the newer one. Yeah, it's the 2021. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one that I saw. That's the good one too, right? That was an in-depth one. I gotta. Did I watch that one? I think that I did. They all kind of blend together because a lot of them cover like the same information. But yeah, it's interesting. I met a lady in Vegas at CES that works for Raw Thrills, and the guy that created that, and I'm blanking on his name right now, Andy. Oh, blanking on his name. First name's Andy though. He created the Cruisin' franchise, which is my favorite racing franchise. And he went off after he left Midway and he created Raw Thrills, and they're putting out the Jurassic Park arcade games, the Fast and Furious racing games, just lots of really cool modern day stuff that you see at like Dave and Buster's or movie theaters and stuff like that. But they have that Midway vibe to them, and that's why it's the same dude behind all that stuff. So really interesting stuff there. I found a lot of spyware and malware on some of those mini PCs you've given out. On the ones I've given out, I usually test them out. Well, the ones that maybe not the exact ones that I've given out. Yes, I actually talked to somebody the other day, and I actually reached out to not Camrui, Ace Magic. So they did have a limited amount that did go out with malware and spyware on them, and they've since figured out the issue. It was somebody in their factory that I guess put this spyware or malware onto a certain amount of the computers that were going out. So they did have like a breach or whatever you want to call that. Now I've always scanned the ones that I've had, so I haven't had that issue with the ones I received. But to my knowledge, anyways, I mean, I guess you always run the risk. But um, supposedly they have figured that whole situation out. And I think the concern there is that a lot of these are manufactured, a lot of the components come from the same places. So even if you have like an Ace Magician, Ace Magic, or a Camrui, a lot of them are sourced through the same locations, I think. So there is the concern that it could be on other branded stuff, but I think it was Ace Magic that had the issue specifically. So I don't know all the details there, and of course the companies don't want to give you all the details either, but I believe it's been resolved. But yeah, if you've bought from them, then you definitely want to scan your setup. And I think from what I gathered, it was in the Chrome browser. That's where they had the spyware or the malware placed. And I could be wrong on that. That's just what I've heard. Nice. Welcome, Brian. Glad that you were able to make it. Yeah, I've seen some coverage on that for sure, and again reached out to the company, and they said that of course they've resolved the issue, and they gave me that little bit of information, but I found more information, obviously, kind of diving into it on my own. But yeah, I don't have all the info. Well, that could be a good time. I'm a big Tron fan. Love the original. I know some people don't. It's weird for sure, but the one that they redid, what was that, like 12 years ago? Maybe, yeah, it's probably longer than that now. That was pretty cool too. Um, it can be like Matrix a little bit though. You have to really digest all the information to really soak it up. But it's one of those that I've watched like several times to really absorb it all. Um, I have not. No, I will have to do that. Now, I'm sometimes somebody that just like goes into the same stuff a lot, and I have to break out of that habit. So that'll give me some push in the right direction. That's good information, Marcus. I agree, and that's actually what I did with the. I was saying that I scan on a Camrui over here. I actually took out the hard drive that came with that, or the SSD that came with that, and I put in a new one and just did totally fresh install on that. And that is definitely the safest way, unless you're going with like an HP or something like that. Um, but if you're buying something like I did the videos on the G2 and G3 Elite desks, and I always actually went into those because whenever I used those, I used them as a designated emulation PC. So I would actually take out the drive that came with those and just totally wipe it and put on like Batacera. So I can boot right into Batacera. I don't have to worry about like the boot order switch or anything like that because literally the only thing connected is going to be that Batacera drive. So using mini PCs like that, it really doesn't matter if there's malware because you're going to go in and totally get rid of all that stuff anyways. So yes, clean installs are always going to be, a safer way to proceed. What do you think of? Did I review that one? Sometimes these review videos can all blend together for me. I feel like I know I did a couple from GMK Tech, but the Intel N50 105 is decent. I mean, you're not going to get into like super high end stuff on that, but um, you should have a pretty good experience. It just depends what your expectations are. I think that's what it boils down to a lot of the time. Are you looking for like, PS3? If that's the case, then no, you're not gonna have that experience on there. But if you're looking for like, Dreamcast, PS2, stuff like that, you're gonna have a good experience. So in PS2, sometimes you have to adjust settings to make those work. It just depends. I'll have to look at the specs specifically on that one. Off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly, but you should have a pretty good experience on there. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about reaching out to him because we do cover a lot of the same content, and he seems like a good dude. I've been watching his content for a long time. I know I'm subscribed to him. He's subscribed to me, but we've never, had a conversation. So, yeah, maybe I'll have to reach out. Very good information here. I totally agree. I have not. I have not. All right, so we're getting some good good vibes on Retro Ralph. Sorry, just oh nice. Always good to see a fellow Connecticut native. And not many of us. There's a couple of people actually that watch that I've talked to here on the live streams that are from Connecticut. But yeah, I think one was from like Middletown, which isn't terribly far from me. Trying to find a way to record streaming video, like live streams, or you can do so. What's the? I just downloaded this. OBS Studio is pretty sweet for pretty much anything streaming. I recently got into that for well, I've prepped with that actually for when I'm going to do some retro gaming streams. So we got just under 7 minutes on the RG35XX handheld. Let me give you guys this link one more time here because this isn't the pinned one. Oh, nice, Torrington. Very nice. I don't get up that way too often. I'm down by New Haven myself, but it's nice up there. I used to live up in Simsbury area, or I mean that's going back a ways now, but that's more up your direction. Love cruising as well. Ace Magic did have the issue. Yeah, that's what I thought. For sure. And I was actually thinking about because I'm because of that issue, I haven't touched anything Ace Magic in a while. Actually, the last video that I did was right around when they came out with that information, so I did do a scan on it, and luckily didn't have anything. But yeah, I've kind of shied away from them a little bit, just while they say they've obviously fixed the issue, but certainly want to give them a little bit extra time just in case. Oh, nice, very nice. Yeah, one of my best friends lives in Hartford, and I find myself up that way more. Nice. All right, so we got some Connecticut people out here. I like it. Rhode Island's in the house. Nice. I've been thinking about getting the HP Victus because I'm first off, it's a really cool looking PC, but I'd like to do a video review on that. So I will likely do that in the future. I just got to get out from under a lot of stuff here that's been sitting that I've picked up to review, and then especially with like mini PCs, those videos take a while to film and to bring in like the demos because I don't just like unbox them, dive into them for an hour or so, and then do a review video. I try to spend quite a bit of time on those, and because you don't want to have a good experience for 2 hours and then it crap out, and now you just did a whole video talking about how great the product is, and it's based off of a short window of time. So I try to do quite a bit on them. I'll usually even edit videos because I use a cloud-based software for editing videos, and you need some pretty decent specs on your PC to do that effectively. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I've been doing. I have the. Do I have it close by? I always forget the name of this, and I've been using it for like 3 years now. Of course, it's not close by. For my, I have a 4K pass through for streaming and captures and all that stuff, and it has different settings. So you can do pass through, or you can record right to a micro SD card. So if you're playing a game like offline, you can just record to the micro SD card, then take the micro SD card, insert it into your PC, and you would be able to, upload all of that. And that's what I do for the majority of things. But for some stuff like on Steam, you can't capture because you're in Windows. So it just depends. It can be dicey with that. But usually you can record also captures right from, if you have a Windows, 11 Pro, for example, you can usually record right from there. So, but for streaming, you want to use the pass through, and then you go into like OBS. And I've just recently figured out how to do this because I want to do a lot of people have been asking to do retro game live streams, which I am going to do. It's just been a matter of finding the time and not being totally exhausted at the end of the day. But I figured I'd jump into like Fortnite or something basic like that on Xbox because I have everything set up already for that. But just to get acquainted with the process, and then I'd jump into like bringing in another PC and diving into some of my retro builds and stuff like that. Yeah, that'll be good. I have green screens too. I used to use those a lot for my videos, and then I've kind of changed it up here since I set up this area. But definitely, definitely try it out and see what works best. Is there a link for the next giveaway? Not yet. I will have one out probably by Monday or Tuesday though. And next week, what are we gonna do? Just looking over to see what's waiting for a giveaway. I think I've got. Well, I'll probably do the mini PC, and then yeah, we're overdue for a mini PC giveaway. I'm not sure if I got a controller over there or a game drive. I'll have to see. I'll figure it out though by Monday or Tuesday, and I'll have that posted. So let me see what we have left on this giveaway. Another minute and a half. So I'll send you guys another link here. If you haven't entered to win this, go ahead and enter. We've got a minute and a half. Gotcha. Yeah, the Victus is pretty affordable, I think, right? What was the price point on them? They might have different tiers for that too. But I like the sleek design of it. Let's see. I was just looking at it the other day, and they have the laptops too. But I was talking about the desktop, and I think that's what you were mentioning too. So yeah, they have the black 2023 Victus 15L. What do we have for processor? AMD 6-core Ryzen 5600G processor, up to 4.4 gigahertz, which is pretty good. 16 gigabyte RAM, 12 gigabyte NVMe SSD. AMD Radeon RX 6400. Comes with a mouse and keyboard. So the 4.4 would be your turbo, I believe. So yeah, processor speed, it says 3.9 gigahertz. I mean, it looks pretty impressive. They only have 2 in stock right now on Amazon, $535.95. So definitely cheaper than the HP Pavilion that I'm using, even though the price has gone down on that. But there's also the Victus 15L 12-core i7, and that's 16 gigabyte DDR4 RAM as well. That one's $949. That's the white one. That's an i7 with a NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060. And I think they might even have more than that. Yeah, they have another tower. Yeah, there's a lot of options. I'd have to really dive into it. Oh wow, there's even more. It's like endless options there on those. Yeah, so I mean, even that more basic one there seemed to be pretty solid with the specs, but specs can be a little deceiving too. So it just depends. That's why I like doing the reviews, because sometimes you look at the specs and you'll think that things are going to go one way, and it's a different experience entirely. It just depends what's truly going on there. I have a laptop that I'm going to be doing a review video on too. I don't actually think I have it down here right now, and I think I forget what brand it is, but I think it's like Ace. It might be Ace Magician. Um, Hell, it might even be Ace Magic. That might be why it's not down here right now. I'll have to scan the hell out of it. All right, so I think that giveaway should be up. It is. All right, so we're going to pull that. Now, go up to the top of your live. Actually, I'll give you guys a link again. This is the live stream giveaway right here. This is the game drive. So this will be the next one coming up, and we've got a little bit of time on that, so no rush, 23 minutes. But let's pull the winner for the RG35XX handheld. So we did the plus already. Right here we have the original. So Finley won the RG35XX Plus in the UK. And let's see who's going to win this one. And this is the translucent, I think it's called Atomic Purple. It's like the old school Game Boy Color that most of us probably grew up on. I actually had the teal one, but I always liked that purple one. All right, and this is going to the winner in Canada, Kevin Locke. You won the RG35XX handheld. So congratulations, Kevin. I have your email here, so I will email you today or tomorrow, and get your shipping info, and we will go from there. So congrats to Kevin. Another awesome giveaway here. These really are great handhelds, and I like that Ambernick has been consistently putting out good stuff. I mean, they've been putting out stuff for a while now, but for a while I felt like they were just putting out like new models, and there wasn't much difference from model to model. And it seems like now we definitely have some solid advancements. They're minor advancements, but they are moving in the right direction from model to model. So next giveaway is this 2.5-inch hard drive right here. This is running Batocera 35, I believe, with over 48,000 games on here. And let me double check that. Yeah, 48,045 retro games on here. So it's a pretty sweet setup, and it's got that old school tape look to it, which I really like. So we've got how many minutes left on this? 21 minutes left. Has anybody seen this? I got to send you guys the link on this actually because it popped up on my Amazon the other day. When you first jump onto Amazon, it gives you like all these random recommendations, and some of them are like stuff that is totally off from what you typically search for. But there's this gaming PC that looks like a sneaker. Has anybody seen this? I gotta see if I can look it up here. Just gonna type in sneaker PC and see if it comes up. There it is. It's a whopping $3,425.99. There's only 6 of them in stock right now on Amazon, but it looks pretty crazy. I'm going to send you guys a link to this. Click over and just take a peek at it because I've never seen anything like this before. I don't know if it's just one of those novelty things. Cool Master, there you go. Exactly. But I've looked at this page quite a bit over the last week. Certainly not the price point that I'm interested in, but certainly does look pretty interesting. So, exactly. Sneaker PC. There we go. I mean, it's a sleek design. There's not a lot of videos on it. Like it's mostly like a promo video, but you can see what it has going on there. You've got the GeForce RTX internally. It's an i7. Let's see, Intel Core, NVIDIA GeForce. Oops, I lost it. RTX 4070, yeah. It looks pretty impressive, but you have to have deep pockets for that. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that one. Power Ranger shoe. I suppose you're right. Yeah, I think they were going for a basketball shoe, but yeah, it does look like a Power Ranger shoe with the rounded tip there. You and me both, for sure. Now that would be cool, and that would be like $6,000, I'm sure. But that would definitely be cool. Well, it's got some specs to it, but yeah, essentially that's what it is. Yeah, I couldn't see spending that much. And you don't have to. I mean, there's way more affordable options out there. Even if that does have 2 terabyte M2 NVMe, certainly doesn't help with the price point. But yeah, and it doesn't look like I don't see like any USB ports on there or anything. They must be hidden in there. I mean, they have to maybe I don't know. Maybe some of those parts come off. Maybe the backside like flips open, but I mean, it looks pretty enclosed there. I don't see any ports. It's got to be in that back flap there. It looks like there's a hinge that maybe that lifts up. Maybe the whole front opens up too. I don't know. It shows you some of the specs for the games and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't spend that. That would be a pretty solid idea, Joseph. One that looks like a game controller. That could be a problem. There you go. I'm not sure. What do you mean? I'm not sure. I'm not sure why it needs that. Maybe it does something really crazy that we're not aware of. But yeah, I don't know. The promo is not great on it. It just looks like kind of like a generic sort of promo reel. Maybe it's a transformer. I don't know. I couldn't spend that though. Um, but I mean, it's certainly interesting. It's just like one of those catchy looking things that they figure somebody's going to buy, and clearly somebody has. I mean, they seem to have a limited inventory for sure, for sure. No, what's going on with it? Is it not connecting or not mapping correctly? What's going on there? There you go. Just get a pie five and some cheesecake. Yeah, you can get a few pie fives, but you can't stack. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's U.S. only. It shows up for me, but I'm in the U.S., so I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I wish you could find that. Actually, there is an app that'll tell you like how many have sold, but I don't have. It's like a plugin that you can get, but I know a lot of people use it that sell on Amazon so they can gauge, the market's interest. Oh, they have a 37.99 version too, which at first glance looks pretty much the exact same. Yeah, I don't see. It's got to be something with the specs that differs there, or maybe it has better shocks. I don't know. No, it would not. Yeah, I was just looking at that. But the first one has that too, right? Oh, TI. Oh, yep, you're right. TI. There's the difference. I looked at it at first glance, just saw the same number, but right. Just a generic USB controller keeps mixing up the different controls between players or within the same controller. Because sometimes like if you have two controllers that you bring in, like player one will be like messing up player two on screen. Like I've seen that issue quite a few times. Oh, okay. All right. So that's not your issue. I don't know. I'm not sure. What are you using it with? Just a PC? Or are you on like Vodacero, something like that? Did you say that in the first one? All right. So what do we have here? We have 13 minutes left. So get your entries in on this. Let me see how many people have entered this one. So we've got 604 entries on this game drive. So um, that's pretty good. I mean, we only have 164, 158 right now in here. And be sure to hit like here if you haven't already on here. Nothing wrong with that. It's not for everybody, that's for sure. I think that the biggest thing has been, and for gaming, I mean, you're still going to spend certainly a few bucks, but if you're a retro gamer that only wants like old school stuff, then I think it's a great option for a lot of people. But um, yeah, I certainly get that. In a perfect world, I would just use my full scale gaming PC here for everything, and the performance would be good. But you have the smaller scale too that makes it much more easy to travel with, and depending on different setups, I think that I did a video recently talking about the comparison between mini PCs, their performance, and the Pi 5 or any Raspberry Pi product. And now the price points are lower and lower on the mini PCs, where I think that that is, the more attractive option. And, if you're going to, I always point the wrong way. If you're going to mod an arcade one up cabinet like this one back here, they're a great desktop PC into one of those. Although you could, I suppose, but why would you want to? How to make the screen smaller on RetroArch. Are you using it within something or using it, freestanding? And are you talking about like aspect ratio? I probably could picture that. but he was more of a rocky road guy. This is true. There you go. We could do a $3,500 cheesecake PC, 5 USB ports. There you go. I can write off, yeah. Um, well, a lot of the stuff, though, a lot of the giveaway stuff is stuff that I have gotten for free too. So that's why I try to pass it on to you guys rather than, selling it or whatever. Because I don't need 200 mini PCs each year. Just don't have a use for them all. So that's why I offer them up to you guys who would put them to better use than me putting them on the shelf here. So, but yeah, I do buy a lot of the stuff too. But I couldn't afford to buy literally everything that I have here. But I did buy the Sur 7 Max that I'll be reviewing on Monday. So the more higher end stuff, the more pricey stuff, usually I buy because the companies don't want to send you, the top of the line stuff. They want to send you the cheaper stuff, which I'm not criticizing by any means. But you know, they figure that's the easier sell to people, which I mean it is. People don't want to spend a fortune on stuff usually. Sweet. That's the nice thing about gaming PCs though. They do hold up, and you don't have to like. I mean, mine now is I don't know, 4 years old, and it's still it still works as good as it did the first day that I had it. If you take care of them. The only thing is you have to obviously open them up and clear. I actually opened mine up yesterday and got the dust out of it because um, it's crazy how much dust you can actually get all up in there. Thank you so much, Jerry. Appreciate that. One day, maybe. A long way to go, though, for a million. I'm trying to get to 100,000, so I think we'll hit that this year, though. I think we are at 7. I think we passed 75 the other day, right? I can't see it where I am right now, but I think it's like 75 and change. So, yeah, little by little. It's a grind, though. It's funny because this stuff is more niche, however you want to say it. Obviously not everybody. I mean, gaming as a whole on YouTube is massive. It's definitely booming. But when you section it off to retro gaming, you're taking that massive audience and you're shrinking it considerably because, the kids that are trendy and watching Mr. Beast and stuff, they don't really care about this stuff. So, yeah, it's a smaller audience, but little by little. I'm having an issue with Retrobat pre-builds, which is how to get the analog sticks to work. So the mapping process there is very similar to Batocera. I've never personally had that experience, but so are they? Are you able to like move through menus, or is it just in game? What's going on there? Well, I am thankful for you guys tuning in every week and supporting the channel. So thank you guys so much for that. And yeah, we'll just keep moving forward. Anything I get that I don't need, once I'm done doing videos with it, it goes right to you guys for these giveaways. So I love doing it. It's always a blast. And I always say this, we have such a great group of people that are always tuning into the video premieres, but also, of course, the live streams. So it's always appreciated that we have that vibe because so many channels don't have that. And I have been going into more live streams lately. I don't spend a lot of time in there. I don't have a lot of time to spend in there, but just to see like what other people are covering. Obviously, you want to stay relevant, especially in the gaming world. But yeah, not everybody has that vibe. There's a lot of toxic people out there, and yeah, it's unfortunate. So I'm grateful that we don't have that here. B-Link. I actually work with B-Link a little bit. Nothing, I mean, it's not an endorsement, but they do send me some stuff. They don't send me the high-end stuff, though. So, like the B-Link Sur 7 Max, I bought that myself. But they have sent me some of their lower-end stuff, and they are great to work with. I really enjoy dealing with the person that I deal with at B-Link. And they're one of those companies that's real. They're honest. They're straightforward. They don't play games because there's a lot of companies out there. Not so much mini PC manufacturers or companies that make mini PCs or promote them or whatever, but a lot of companies in general with like products that want you just to hype up their product. They don't want an honest review. They don't want you to tell them what's wrong with their product. They want to tell you exactly what to say. And I don't work with companies like that because it's not an authentic review if you're being handed a script or even just being told, like, here are the selling points here. Anytime there's anything that says selling points, that's a no go. Oh, nice. 75.3. All right, went up from this morning. I try not to check it that often, though, because if you're just chasing like subscribers or even views, I think you just lose your mind. And I recently went to Dallas a couple months ago to a YouTube convention out there and um, learned a lot about, like kind of what goes on with YouTube and the algorithm and stuff like that. And yeah, you can lose your mind if you really focus too much on this stuff. So I just keep it simple and I put out content that I'm interested in. And, it's not going to be for everybody. Like some videos, um, I know some people say, like, oh, you have a lot of videos that don't have a lot of views. Well, I cover a lot of stuff that's not for everybody. Like this controller is awesome. I think the video has like 700 views. Not everybody's looking for a controller. So, um, you know, it is what it is. But for the people that do want a controller, they see that video, it makes a difference for them. So if it works for, if the video has value to one person out there beyond me, I'm happy. I don't get bent out of shape about every video not being a smash hit. Sounds good. Sounds good. There's a lot of Sur 7s though. There's different models. So I got the Sur 7 Max. Do you have the Sur 7 Max or just the Sur 7? Because there are, and then there's like slight different, specs with them too, which, can make it a little bit challenging. Heck and Steve, what's going on? I know I'm 4 minutes late to your comment, but my bad. I did text you from the live stream though, so I get some points there. That's a pricey build, but I mean, you're gonna get a lot out of that too. It's not, at least it's not something that is gonna crap out, in a year or need to be updated. If you spend $2,500, you should be good for a long time. What else do we have? I'm gonna jump down here. So if anybody asks me questions, ask them again because I'm skipping over some people just to get caught up here. There you go. Yeah. Definitely, definitely. And I do a lot of different stuff. Like my short stuff is very different than my long form content. And it's funny how you have like peaks and valleys with YouTube. Like I get more subscribers off of the short videos than I do off of the long form stuff. Like I feel like this stuff just kind of maintains, and then the short stuff brings in different people, but different demographics. Like I do a lot of Fortnite shorts and stuff like that, which are fun to make. And hopefully I don't drive the older demographic crazy with those, but um, it does get a lot of views and it does bring in a lot of new subscribers and new faces here that then actually a lot of people have said that they got into more retro gaming and emulation stuff because they found my channel through Fortnite videos, which is weird, but um, you know whatever works, whatever gets the word out there, because a lot of people don't know that you don't have to go and spend a fortune on Steam to get into your favorite retro titles. You can figure stuff out on your own and get into emulation. You don't have to go out and spend thousands of dollars on a PC to play old school PS2 games and stuff like that. Yeah, I'll give you the link to that game controller. Do I still have it open? Because I provided it earlier. Of course not. Let me find that for you. Yeah, it's a cool looking controller too, but the win for me is it's got some RGB lights on there, which are cool, but that obviously doesn't affect performance. The analog sticks are on point, and I play a lot of racing games. Love racing games, but I hate playing racing games on cheap controllers because you're just going to overcorrect. You're going to be all over the road, and I'm, I'm a crazy driver in games as it is. I don't need anything else working against me. So, where is it? Bear with me. I'm just pulling that link for you. And there's, if you, actually, I'll click this link because there was a limited inventory on these. Oh, it says 18. It said like 2 in stock earlier today, but now there's 18 in stock, so they must have added more. All right, here's the link to that controller. And it's called, I call it Mechanic. Um, I assume it could be pronounced a bunch of different ways, but yeah, really sweet. It's got great triggers on here too. I played Forza 4 with it and Halo Infinite in my demo for that, and it was on point. So you kind of, both of those games, one, you're going to be working the trigger more, one, you're going to be working the analog sticks more, so you can really get a good feeling. Oh, nice. Sweet. Perfect. Saturn, I never got into. Back then, anyways, I have, through emulation, but Dreamcast was my setup back then. That's what I loved, and I loved it because of the arcade games, because you had so many, um, ports from the arcade that were true to the arcade versions, like Gauntlet Legends for me, one of my favorite games. Hydro Thunder, graphically way better. Both of those graphically were better on Dreamcast than N64, and some games were put out to PlayStation One as well. And I always felt like PlayStation One just didn't have the same feel to it that Dreamcast had. So yeah, I was a big Dreamcast guy. But yeah, it's unfortunate that it didn't really, I don't know, it didn't work out for them. Obviously, it was their last home console, but they had the best arcade games at the time too. That's the one, yeah, same specs. Yeah, it's definitely good. The only thing, and I'm kind of hinting at what will be covered Monday or Tuesday when I release that video. Um, if you look at the performance compared to the Sur 6 Max, they're it's definitely better. It definitely across the board is a solid step forward. But is it noticeable enough where it's worth the extra money? That's where I start to question it a little bit. But not to take away from the fact that it definitely has exceptional performance and it is an amazing mini PC. But if you're, going out there looking for something that can handle like, high end retro video game emulation, modern day titles, do you need to go that route or could you go the Sur 6 Max and save some money? You can go the Sur 6 Max and save some money. So that's the only thing that I would point out. If I'm trying to be negative or trying to, focus on something that's not 100% positive about it, that's really the only thing I have to say. It's still an amazing option, as is the Sur 6 Max. But I think B-Link in general is probably my favorite brand because they consistently put out super high quality stuff. And, they've never really had anything controversial about them. You don't hear about them having these issues with malware or anything like that. You know, they're definitely pretty high end. And I like that they're not using, plastic. I mean, they do have some plastic mini PCs, don't get me wrong, but for those, I mean, it's as high end as it gets for, an enclosure and all that. Very, very true. Couldn't agree more with you there. And I've talked to people that are just looking to start getting into YouTube and stuff. And that's always what I say is just like find what you're into and you'll attract people that are into it too. And that's how you're going to grow. And those first, couple hundred people are going to be huge for your growth, and they're going to stick with you for the long run. Um, and of course, if you want to grow, you have to cover some trendy stuff too, but you have to be into it. I think people see through it if you're not into it. Handheld wise, it's dicey because Sega Saturn demands a lot from handhelds. I'm trying to think, was Sega Saturn on the Trim UI? Smart Pro. Have to go back and think about that. I don't remember if Saturn was on there or not. I don't do much Saturn handheld, on Saturn on the go with handhelds because it's just dicey like that. There are some Ambernicks that can handle it, but they're usually like the higher end ones, the 150, 160, $175 ones. So yeah, I'd have to think about that a little bit. Does that Time Machine plug and play that you reviewed have any shooter games? I'm looking for an alternate to Pandora's Box for the retro shooter. Love the guns, but the box is so. Yeah, the box is, yeah, it's less than so. um, it does have some. It does have some, but I wouldn't recommend it for that. I think that you're gonna have a better experience probably than retro shooter if you were going to use it for that. But I don't know that it would. I don't know that it would handle that. In all honesty, I didn't try it out myself, but um, I think you have to go with something that's a little bit higher end. In all honesty, you would probably be able to get into like the MAME light gun game without an issue, but you're not going to get into like all the higher end stuff, which I love. I mean, I love going into Time Crisis 2 on PS2. Um, Dreamcast has a lot of great ones too, and that could be. I don't know. I don't. I mean, I guess the real answer is I don't know. I feel like you would probably want to go with something a little bit higher end for that. Do I? I don't think so. I don't think I do. No. Mm, I don't think so. I don't think I've ever even tried. No. Oh no. Sorry, I was combining these two. Clearly, I need more sleep. I was combining two different questions together. Have you ever gotten C-Man for Dreamcast? Okay, the microphone to work? No, I don't believe so. I've gotten the game to work, but no, I've never. I don't. I don't think so. Ryzen 7 is in the Sur 7 Max. Right, Ryzen 9 is in the. I think, anyways, the Ryzen 9 is in the Sur 6 Max. The Ryzen 7 is in the Sur 7 Max. If I remember correctly, and it was just yesterday, so I think I'm. Let me double check that. Sur 7 Max had the 7. I remember second guessing that yesterday. Yeah, the Ryzen 7 7840HS is in the B-Link Sur 7 Max, and the 6 Max, which actually they've kind of messed up their listings on Amazon. So if you're using that as your reference, um, it can be a little bit wonky there. But they use a Ryzen 9 6900HX in the 6 Max, and there's different ones too. So the one that I have though for the Ryzen 7 Max is the Ryzen 7. Reach out to Pepsi for a sponsorship. Yeah, my Diet Pepsi here keeps me going. I actually have at my office I have B-Link mini PCs. I have a medical practice, and we use B-Link mini PCs actually over there for our desktop PCs, and I've had them now for 5 years, 4 years, 3 or 4 years. We swapped them out, and we got the B links that we have right now, and they're not ones that you would get for emulation gaming necessarily. Actually, I actually have tried emulation gaming on them, and they work well, but they're not like super high end for the more advanced stuff. But never had an issue with them crashing. And I mean, they're on for the majority of the day, 6 days a week over there. So I guess it depends what you're doing on there. If you're pushing them farther than you probably should, then I could see that happening. But I've had great experiences with B-Link. I have not. Marble Madness, yes. The Surge 5 is good actually, and it's at a great price point right now. So you probably paid a pretty good, um, you probably paid a low price for it too. So I wouldn't feel bad about that. I've reviewed the Surge 5. I mean, there's different ones as well, but or different specs, but um, yeah, the Surge 5 is good. You have good performance on that, and you're not paying, $700-800 either. That is awesome. That is good to hear. Yeah, there's a lot of those Android boxes that are garbage, and there's some that are really impressive. So it's kind of hit or miss, but there's some that really unlock a lot of potential. Exactly that. I was just saying. Yeah, and I think that's the one that I reviewed actually, and it yeah, I loved it. I don't know if I've played that one. I'll have to check that out. Yes, so we in general, like we came out what 2006, so I wasn't gaming that much at that point in time. Um, and I had a Wii, but I think I mostly played the game that came with it, which was the Wii Sports. This is when it first came out, and that had what, like 4 games in there. So I pretty much just played those. And then I got super busy and I just ended up not using it much. So I didn't even realize that there were that many light gun games. So when I got into emulation and I got into Wii, I kind of went down the rabbit hole for like, I feel like a solid 8 months of just playing Wii games. And the fact that with emulation, you can play Wii with original Wii remotes, nunchucks, all those attachments that were so cool and created that interactive experience. You could play all that with the Mayflash Dolphin Bar. So I played a lot of Wii games, and it was like reliving the past, but for the first time because I never played them all. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool games, and some you need that nunchuck to kind of navigate too. But I like that it's not just like you're going, you're following one path. You can kind of maneuver and go around. So it kind of combines the different genres into one experience, if that makes sense. It's not just your typical standard old school light gun format. So I really like that. All right, so we've got this Botticera game drive ready to go here. So let's pick a winner. All right, so gonna just draw this one random winner here. Let me refresh my screen. All right, so 2.5-inch external hard drive, Botticera 35, over 48,000 games on here. This is 500 gigabytes. The winner is Stephen Brown. Stephen Brown, you are the lucky winner of the Botticera 500 gigabyte plug and play hard drive. So I have your email. I will send you an email in the next day or two and get your shipping address, and we'll get that shipped out to you. Monday's not a holiday, so we're good. I'll try to get it out Monday morning. So congrats, Stephen Brown. Definitely a pretty sweet setup on here. And if you want to check out the review video that I did on this, you'll see exactly what this offers in great detail. So if you go to that link, you should see I think I put a link in there to that video. So really a sweet setup. It is an older version of Botticera. You probably could actually upgrade it or update it rather, if you connect it over to your Wi-Fi and all that stuff. I can't guarantee that it's going to work. I don't know how much storage space is on there, but theoretically you should be able to update that if you wanted to bring it to, what are we at now, 38 or 39 with Botticera. Let me get that video link for you then. Where is it? Is this it? Got so many videos. I was actually looking at use Social Blade, which is like you can get data from your channel and stuff like that. I mean, anybody can look it up for any channel, but it tells you, like, it gives you a little bit more data than YouTube Studio will give you on like the back end of your channel and your videos and stuff like that. So I was on there and it said how many videos I've put on this channel. And I was like, wow, I didn't realize I had put out that many videos, like 1,600 videos here. And that includes shorts. So that's the review video, I think, anyways. Again, lots of videos, but um, yeah, that should be it. 48 over 48,000 games. Yeah, that's it. Anytime, anytime. Love doing the giveaways. Let's see. Great information from Joshua as always. Um, just reading it in full here, but yeah, that probably is your best bet. In all honesty, 360 emulation is tough. Some stuff works really well. Some stuff works absolutely terrible. So, but there's so many games for 360 that are really amazing. And it's unfortunate that Xbox doesn't do the backwards compatibility with everything because there's really a lot of great stuff there that they could be adding to their platform and all that. Gotcha. Um, which one was it? Was it the one of the mini towers or one of those more compact ones? I totally agree with that comment right there. Absolutely. And then Kevin from the UK, always good with the tech stuff as well. We got a lot of knowledgeable people in here, which I like. This is true. Yeah. Sometimes you can't just jump into a game and have it work perfectly. You do have to go into like your settings and make adjustments there. Especially PS2, I've had that happen quite a bit. Even with stuff like sometimes it'll surprise me with PS2. I'll jump into a PC that can easily handle PS3, but PS2 will be a little wonky. But it can always be fixed by adjusting settings and stuff like that. Um, but you would think that all right, if PS3 is running well, why are we having like slight just slight issues with PS2? And it's usually just like a simple little adjustment that's a click away. Turn on comments in. Let me see if I can do that here. It might be like that because I'm on StreamYard, kind of beaming into YouTube. But I think it's just while I'm in the live stream. After it ends, then you can do the comments over here. It just pulls like the live stream ones. For this, anyways. I think it's slightly different over here though than if I was just doing it on YouTube. I actually liked the YouTube one. I think it was a little bit more user friendly, but certain things are better over here. Oh, the French time machine. It's pretty sweet. You can also check out, not to give you something to be confused over, but this was the one. Let me see if I still have it up here. Of course I don't. Let me pull it up for you. The one that I had pegged as like the best up until that point was the one that looked like the PS5 console, but it kind of like disappeared for like a solid 6 weeks or so. And people were asking me about it, like, why is the link not working? And it wasn't on Amazon anymore. I mean, Amazon does kind of clean house with those sometimes and pulls down listings. So, not entirely surprised, but it is back on Amazon, and it was a pretty sweet setup. It had 41,000 over 41,000 games. Not gonna say that there's not duplicates in that one. There are duplicates, but it's not like littered with them, and you get pretty decent performance out of it. So it is cheaper than the one, the Time Machine one. So worth looking at. Oh, that's sorry. I was sending you the video link. Well, I'll send you the video link too, but I'll send you the. My bad. Video started playing in the background there. Here is the direct link to Amazon for that one. So again, not to give you more options to consider, but that one does save you quite a bit of bucks, and you would get it much quicker if you're in the U.S. because you don't have to ship it DHL. There's only oh, I'm looking at the wrong listing. There's only, let's see, they have a limit on inventory here. Oh yeah, there's no limit on stock right now. There was the other day. So yeah, this one has over 40,000 games, 40 plus emulators, which is comparable, but you're going to get a little bit more. The controllers, not super high quality, but you don't have the lag issues that you have on the Time Machine with them. They still aren't, top notch, but you can always go with something like this, which is up until this point, my absolute favorite PC controller that I've picked up. And I've actually been a big fan of Easy SMX. They make some amazing PC controllers as well. But yeah, I have to go towards this one. This one definitely takes the cake. That's true. It's like a never-ending process there of trying to better your experience and your performance and all of that. So I agree. It's I think that's where some people get frustrated with it too, though. Sometimes people want that plug and play feel, and plug and play is never truly plug and play with retro stuff, especially if you're using like more budget friendly options. Obviously, then you have to do more tweaking and stuff. If you get something that's just out of this world, if you go and you get that $3,500 sneaker PC, you probably don't have to tweak anything on that, but you're paying a ridiculous price to not have to go into your settings and make adjustments. Link to control. You would think that I would just leave these on my desktop so I don't have to search them every time. Let me get you guys that one. Luckily, the controller was only like 2 or 3 videos ago, so that's an easy one for me to find. Here it comes. Yeah, it's not the, and I'll say this, it's not the cheapest controller out there. I think it's like 60, 65 bucks. The Easy SMX ones are about half that to, maybe 50 bucks on the high end. But this one definitely, I mean, it's worth every bit of 60 bucks, honestly. Feels much better than any PC controller I've had so far, and you can use it on Switch, Android devices, PC, iOS, whatever you want to use it on, which is cool to just have that little switch in the back to just flip it over when you want to move it over to something else. Yeah, so pleasantly surprised. The winners, we just finished that off, but let me pull those up. So Stephen Brown was our winner for the Botticera Drive, which was our surprise tonight. And then we had for the Ambernick RG35XX, that was Kevin Locke. And then for the Ambernick RG 35XX Plus, that one went to Finley Math. So those are our winners for tonight. So congrats to everybody. Are there any wired controllers you would recommend? Yeah. Give me 1 second. I've ordered a couple of these as well. Easy SMX is who I would go with for those. And you want it for PC, right? I assume. I mean, it would be, if you want like a budget friendly option, or let me see what we have here. So this one is it kind of feels like a Xbox 360 controller, which I was a big fan of the 360. I liked how the buttons had that higher action on them. They were a little bit more rounded. Felt like they had a little bit more bounce, whereas this right here actually doesn't have, it's a little bit lower profile, but the click on there, I don't know if you guys can hear this. It's just like on point. It's super tight. Because it has that lower action, I think you probably get more clicks out of it, in all honesty. It just feels much better, but I do like the higher action too, and that's what we have here with this one I'm going to throw your way. And you can just look at, right from that page too, you can just go over to Easy SMX Store, right underneath the heading for that specific controller. They have a lot of great options. I've reviewed them here on the channel quite a bit, and everything that I've gotten from them was good, but yeah, I do inch this ahead ever so slightly, mainly because of the analog sticks. And the analog sticks are good from Easy SMX too, but over here, it's just a little bit smoother, a little bit more precise. So yeah. Absolutely, Jim. Thank you for hanging out tonight. Appreciate that. And for the, continued support here. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I hear you there. Yeah, arcade went up as I feel like they started at like that $29 price point, and they've gone up, and then that they have the arcade stick that's real pricey. Yeah. What are they getting for that arcade stick these days? Because I know they've put out like different models for it too, but it was pretty close to $100, which I thought was a lot because the buttons on it weren't great. And I'll link you guys to what I'm talking about right now if you're not familiar. Yeah, $89.99, which I think is what it's been for a while. Works for Switch and PC. And the nice thing about it is you can swap out the buttons, but the buttons that come on this, they're decent, but they're not super high end. So that's just the one that I was talking about right there. Yeah, they do a nice job. The only thing with those is you have to make sure that you always keep the firmware updated. Well, I don't want to say always, but I have had like random issues with emulation platforms like Botacero and then RetroPie back in the day where they would just like randomly stop working. And I was like, what, did it just crap out? And then I would have to go and update the firmware and it would magically start working again. So I always thought that was kind of strange, but they are high quality for sure. A couple of them have had little issues, but that's normal. That's good. Yeah, the Series X works good. I actually just bought a Series X. I had a Series X. I got a Xbox S console, and for the captures, I just want to have that 4K. So I just ordered a Xbox Series X for like, I forget what I paid, but it was cheap on Walmart, and I just noticed that they canceled my order. So maybe they didn't want to sell it at that price. So I have to make arrangements because I just bought a couple. I also wanted to buy some games that I didn't want to have to get the digital price point on because it's like $59 for games that are like over a year old. And then you can go out and get like the physical copies of games for like $25. So I was like, if I'm going to end up getting, 10, 15 games over time, it makes sense to go with the X to have the disc option. So that's my thought process there. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Getting an early start with the retro gaming guy. I like it. I agree. For certain things, like I played the latest Halo recently on PC. I played Forza, actually both of which I demoed that controller I was just talking about with, and they were the PC. I played them on PC rather than my Xbox. And yeah, I agree. It definitely is better to play them on the console. That's all right. Nothing wrong with that. Well, all right, guys. Well, it has been this one. I feel like it went by quick tonight. We're over 2 hours. So I'm going to let you guys go. And do want to just say thank you guys so much for spending time tonight and, partaking in the giveaway and the live stream chat and all that. So really appreciate that. I will have a video out early next week, Monday or Tuesday, on next week's live stream giveaways and all that, as I typically do. So, stay tuned for that. But I also have that Sur 7 Max coming out, review video coming out, I think Monday, and tomorrow I have a video on the Gun for IR controllers. So I'll be wrapping up the light gun topic for a little while, I think, here on the channel with that. So definitely check that out tomorrow night. And I'll actually, before I head off, I'll give you guys the links so you guys can set a reminder if you're available tomorrow for the premiere, or otherwise check it out at your leisure. But let me just pull that link because I just put this up on YouTube, I think earlier today. So click that link right there. set yourself a reminder, and I'll plan to see you guys tomorrow. I'll definitely be around for the premiere of that, and I'll be in the live chat and all that good stuff. So thank you guys so much. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the game, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys, so much. Appreciate you.